Welcome, No DQ Galaxy, to another episode of What's NXT. I am, of course, the Wizard of No DQ, Stephen Osborne, joined as always by the General Jerry Slaughter.
Good evening, wrestling fans.
Well, this was basically your typical post-takeover episode of NXT. It was essentially what we expected it to be, a lot of video packages.
And a couple dark matches to fill the gap.
And it's really tough to hide the fact that this is pre-recorded, pre-taped, and broadcast after the fact when you are indeed at the Staples Center with the full pay-per-view backdrop and everything and the crowd, and it's definitely not Full Sail.
No.
But it was actually a really good episode when I expected it to be fairly dull. But we'll get into that. We want to welcome everybody to this show. If you are new to watching What's NXT, this is just me and him talking about NXT every week. We also do NXT UK, and that should be coming to you tomorrow. We welcome you to join our NXT party, and that's me holding up an invisible teacup. We don't have the teacups here, as cheap and plastic as they are.
Yeah.
But we invite you to join us for our NXT party tomorrow if you watch NXT UK. We will actually be doing a new format tomorrow with NXT UK. Since they are doing 2 episodes every week, we find it unfair to try and do 2 episodes in every one of ours that end up making it so much longer and harder to watch. I think it would be shorter episodes and probably better on everybody if we just split them up into 2 individual episodes. So that is what we're going to start doing. Tomorrow we will see episode number 9 and episode number 10 of NXT UK, and we will do 2 separate NXT parties for those. We will be having James join us.
Yeah.
And he is another No DQ fan, and we look forward to doing that. However, tonight we are doing NXT. And what did you think about this show?
I didn't really know what to expect. I had already heard, through a grapevine, we're going to see a couple squash matches, which, we did. But then the big shock for me was actually the main event, which I had been waiting for a little while anyway, especially since it's involving 2 of my favorite female wrestlers in general.
Yeah.
And, but even then, the big match feel was still there because they're, like you said, they weren't at Full Sail. They were still in front of that, capacity crowd, for NXT TakeOver War Games. So each wrestler coming out there had more to prove, but then also we had these insanely great video packages too. So it was a good blend, I think. It actually worked out pretty well for the hour that they were given. So yeah.
Well, there's a good chance. To me, I feel like if there's a fan that's there at the Staples Center to see these dark matches for NXT TakeOver, it is likely that this is the very beginning of a very long 5 days for them.
Yes.
Or is it 4 days?
It's 4 days.
4 days.
Yeah.
Well, still, it's a very long 4 days.
Because you have NXT, then you had Survivor Series, then Raw, then SmackDown.
So it's a very long 4 days. Well, if you could, well, never mind. You can't include NXT and whatnot because that's just on the network.
Yeah.
But anyway, these are the first matches that they're going to see, and so I think this is probably the best crowd that they're going to have because these fans are going to be into these matches. And we had a couple of squash matches, and we had the main event, which was the one you alluded to. We find out towards the beginning of this show that is going to be Candice LeRae versus Nikki Cross. And that was exciting because that was not a match that I expected. I had heard there were 2 squash matches on this show, and I forgot who they were on purpose. Occasionally I can do that.
Yeah.
It was nice. The matches, however, were true squash matches, and so I feel like this is going to be a very short show, because as good as this episode was, it was just a bunch of really great video packages and a couple of squash matches and a showcase main event.
The first one, we had a guy that I'm already just loving to pieces. He's only wrestled a couple of matches, but super charismatic. He's got the cool poses. He's got the great entrance. He's already got the crowd behind him. Keith Lee. Keith Lee was in action versus we'll go ahead and say we'll say enhancement talent, but I don't see how he enhanced him in any way, shape, or form. Fidel Bravo.
Fidel Bravo. That is, I don't know if that's a really great name or a really terrible name.
I think it's a great name for a horrible wrestler.
He wasn't that horrible.
He sold great, and he was like...
Well, that's all he was there to do was sell. He made very bad decisions.
Yes.
He decided to slap Keith Lee and push him around and piss the guy off.
Or attempt to push him.
You know, it was already a foregone conclusion at this point that this is a jobber and he's not going to win this match. But why poke the bear, man? Why poke the bear? Keith Lee with a decisive victory.
Well, he did that double slap at the turnbuckle, and
that just felt brutal.
Yeah, and then you have the rest of the crowd pretty much chanting "one more time," which I always love hearing because that harkens back to the Big Show with his frying pan like hand just. So
well, if he'd have done it one more time, then there might have been more than a handful of moves in this match.
Yeah.
But there was a handful of moves in this match. He won it with his fireman's carry into a jackhammer that is just beautiful.
Yeah,
and has got to hurt considering his size.
The low cross body was pretty much just set up for that. He pretty much came off the ropes and came off of that instead of the pounce that I think we saw that last week or last time we actually saw him in the ring. So...
Well, we get the pounce later.
Oh yeah, we get the pounce here later. So, but that match, simple squash match, poses at the end, awesome pose, love the pose.
Keith Lee was great in this. The match, 2 stars at best.
Yeah.
It wasn't even a very entertaining squash match because it was so obvious. Like there was no redeeming quality to the character of Bravo.
No.
Of Fidel Bravo. He was just there to get beat, and you can feel it. And like I said, as great as Keith Lee looked in this match, the match itself was just not great. It wasn't even middle of the road or close to it.
I'd say
it wasn't terrible or anything, but
I must say it served its purpose. It showed Keith Lee can beat up people smaller than him. It showed he's very charismatic. I mean, he smiled and chuckled almost through the entire match, which I always love seeing. But what we've also seen here is, as great of a face as he is, I'm sitting over here doing what I usually do and thinking, how's this guy going to be as a heel if he gets that opportunity? And I can see him just being an extraordinarily great heel. Like to the point where it's like...
very cocky and smirky.
He wouldn't even have to change much of what he's doing right now.
He wouldn't have to change anything of what he's doing right now.
Yeah,
honestly.
Everybody responds to it well, but then if he goes heel with it, it's all obnoxious.
People still respond to it well because I think they love Keith Lee. He's very charismatic.
Yeah, he's gonna be that dreaded cool heel if he ever becomes one, but it'll still be neat to watch. It'll be almost like a modern day Mr. Perfect who's far from perfect.
And I liked your idea that you told me earlier about a heel turn where he turns on Matt Riddle.
Yes.
But personally, I would like to see a little bit of an attempt at them being a tag team first. Develop as individual superstars, become a tag team, use the tried and true, become a tag team, and then have tribulations that cause you to break apart. One of them becomes a heel, and there you go. There's your feud.
But I see Keith Lee being the one that goes heel in it because bask in my glory.
I would love to see his character as a heel. In fact, as good as his character is, I think I would prefer it as a heel, just because I think it would be that good of a heel character.
Yeah, like I said, he's already showing shades of Mr. Perfect and even Bobby Roode, who just went up not too long ago too. So
now, speaking of, we actually get a video of Matt Riddle here in a moment, but first we get an interview with
Shayna Baszler.
Shayna Baszler, but she's also got Jessamine and Duke behind her.
Yeah.
They're being interviewed. I think in this case it was Kathy Kelly. I'm pretty sure this was after their match at TakeOver.
Yeah, that's what it was. Because she was celebrating the win from that. So
Well, sometimes they do these vignettes and interviews that aren't filmed at Takeover to kind of interweave into the night.
Oh, they made mention the fact that she had just capped off the victory and that they're going to like continue on.
Yeah, and Baszler basically says at this point nobody can beat them or
Yes.
us. She's
She
referring to herself and her two compatriots.
yeah, she's making it known that she knows that her success right now isn't just her. It's almost like they've become almost symbiotic in that way. It's the fact that they've just all melded together into like one wrestler, or that's how she sees it. It's like everybody is just her, but she'll still refer to herself as we.
Well, so far with the story they've told, she definitely needs them to keep that championship, at least when she's facing Kairi Sane.
Which I really don't dig. I thought that's the thing that really bothered me about the championship match between those two at Takeover was the fact that I see Shayna Baszler as almost like the Samoa Joe type, the one that really doesn't need like outside interference or anything, but won't stop it. Won't stop when it comes to using possible heel tactics or something like it.
Well, she does all the time, and
Yeah.
the thing is, with anybody else, she doesn't need any help. But
Yeah.
with Kairi Sane, is I guess her Achilles heel. She can defeat her, so she needs Jessamine and Duke.
Yeah, so.
So we go from that into the aforementioned video package of Matt Riddle and Cassius Ohno at Takeover.
Can we really even call it a video package? They showed the pre-show, like almost, you could say almost challenge.
It was the commentator hijack.
Yeah.
They come on and they start having their feud right in front of the pre-show hosts. And it was kind of awkward for them, looked like. Yeah, just what just happened here? You guys can like take care of it in the ring on NXT on Wednesday.
On Wednesday, yes.
Just like this is us on Wednesday, even though technically it's Thursday at this point, and you guys are going to see it on Thursday at this point, but it is Wednesday.
Yes.
So we're all going to play these games a little, I guess. This was, it wasn't a video package per se. It was just, we got to see the match from TakeOver, the whole thing.
We got to see that, the build-up to the match, more or less, that thing, and then the match itself. Because the match itself was only 8 seconds long.
Yeah, so they had plenty of time to show us everything, and it was fun, but we saw NXT TakeOver War Games, so, like, for us, this was a waste of time. I don't know why we watched it again. But anyway,
well, I think if we had fast forwarded past it, we probably would have skipped over whatever match was coming next. So
well, up next we had the sequel to, I think it was either on NXT or in NXT UK. We had a couple of weeks ago the dueling squash matches.
Yes.
In this case, it was Lars Sullivan, and his opponent didn't get an entrance. He got the bottom barrel of the jobber entrance. Not even music playing with him in the ring.
No graphic, no nothing.
No, Lars Sullivan came out, and again, we're waiting to see who's got to come out and face this monster, and he's already in the ring.
And you just broke our rule initially, right from the get-go. He is not Lars Sullivan.
Oh, I'm sorry. We're supposed to just call him Lars.
Yes, we Stephanie and I agree. Even though he's being brought up as Lars Sullivan in one of the big two, either red or
at this
blue brand.
point, he's been advertised as coming soon on the pay-per-view at Survivor Series, but both Raw and SmackDown following. So at this point, we don't know where he's getting called up to or when.
But they need to go ahead and just drop the Sullivan name.
Yeah, just Lars.
Just Lars.
Lars. Spell it with a Z if you need to, or 2 R's, or whatever.
No, it has to be spelled that same way in Danzig lettering. It'll be awesome.
So this was actually a different kind of squash match. Like 2 moves, like nothing. This was over very quickly. Mm-hmm. It made Lars look like an absolute beast, and to me, this one was better. It wasn't great. It was exactly what I expected it to be, but it made Lars look so good.
Yes.
With the same character and everything, but it just looked so good.
The entrance itself actually lasted longer than the match.
Yeah.
Which the entrance for Lars is right up there, I think, with either Kane or Undertaker's or any, like monster heel that they've ever had. Is the fact that his.
I don't know if I'd put it up there with the Undertaker, but you know,
Well,
just saying.
Well, I was about to say some of the Undertaker is interested, like the modern Undertaker, not really as scary as the earlier Undertaker.
Oh, well, I would say the American Badass Undertaker wasn't as scary.
Yeah.
That would probably be his tamest of
Oh,
entrances.
it
was cool with the motorcycle and all, but
well, the whole big devil, like, you know, this is my yard thing.
yeah, so many facets of the Undertaker. But we're not here to talk about the Undertaker. We're here to talk about Lars. And I thought this was, I would call this like a 3-star match, if not higher, just because Lars looks so awesome.
Yeah, Lars did what he set out to do, which is pretty much destroy this dude in the ring. That we had to rewind like 2 or 3 times just to get the guy's name because we were just too busy cringing or going, oh.
Yeah. So the meat of this wasn't even the match. The meat was after the match. Lars cuts a promo and he's just like, "Let this be a warning to everybody."
Yeah.
Because I'm fucking Lars. And I'm going to do this to everybody.
Until he gets his title match.
And we're like, wait, he's getting called up, but now he wants a title match. When is this going to happen?
We got easily confused by this.
How long are these promos for coming soon? Lars Sullivan, and I know, but that's what they're calling him.
I was about to say, Carlito, like, he had promos for his, like, debut.
You think he'll be like Emelina? They'll just promo him until people are sick and they don't care, and then they'll stop promoing him, and then he'll like just show up and
I'm
surprise.
I'm surprised he's getting
rare surprises.
I'm surprised he's getting a call up so early, especially since like we just now lost EC3 not too long ago. I thought that was going to be for an injury and that he was going to possibly premiere before Lars, but looks like we're going to get Lars Sullivan on the big brands before, you know, EC3 comes back. So that's...
Lars, to me, seems like he's ready. Like,
oh, yeah.
For the kind of matches they're going to put him in, and hopefully he learns a little bit more along the way. But I think he seems to wrestle safe. Like, it seems like he only gets injured because of... In the case of... The only injury I know about was because, you know, Aleister Black kicked him in the face.
Yeah.
You know, so broke his jaw, but he healed up from that pretty damn quickly, I would say, for a broken bone.
But yeah, he nails him with his finisher. What was it? The freak accident?
Freak accident gets the pinfall, and I don't think he went for another freak accident. He just went to pound on him, and maybe he was going to pick him up for another freak accident.
He had him set up for another freak accident because he had done the forearm shots or like
the cross faces.
The cross faces, yeah. And that brought out, of all people, Keith Lee.
Yeah.
Keith Lee comes charging at the ring.
So another instance of part 2 from wherever the other dueling squash matches were. We saw,
that was Mastiff and T-Bone.
Yeah, so that was from a UK episode.
Mm-hmm.
In that case, it didn't get physical. In this case, it does get physical. Keith Lee does the pounce that we were talking about earlier onto Lars and knocks him out of the ring. I think when he did, Lars lands on his feet coming out of the ring.
Yep.
So technically he didn't knock him down, but it still
rocked him or disoriented him. Yeah.
I don't like it. I would have rather him come out and stare him down or something, not get physical just yet. But I do like the idea of Keith Lee versus Lars Sullivan, because just the look of the two of them, behemoth of men.
Yes.
So this should be fun.
We'll go ahead and get this knocked out right out of the way. Like, they didn't waste any time. We're getting that match next week.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Hey, Stefan.
Oh, hey, Jerry.
Hey, that is a swell t-shirt you have.
Oh, this old thing?
Yes. Where might I procure one?
Oh, well, you can go to nodq.com/shirts, and it'll take you to Pro Wrestling Tees, where you can get all of nodq.com's t-shirts.
All of them?
All of them. All of your favorite NoDQ.com personalities, including Stefan Osborne, of course, the Wizard of No DQ.
He's all right.
You've got the World Wrestling Trivia Champion, Greg Cherry, the Pennsylvania sensation himself. You have the Wrestling Trivia Challenge superstar Chris Cass. Medium Cast himself. You have Cindy G, the Duchess of No DQ. You have the new Interstate Kyle Day shirt.
Oh, wow.
Happy Interstate Kyle Day, Jerry.
Happy Interstate Kyle Day to you too.
Thank you. You can also get Jeff Meacham and Talk Wrestling shirts.
Seriously?
You can get the new Tyler Toilet Smith t-shirt. And it is a hoot.
Knee slapper.
And you can get Big G's shirt. You can also get new No DQ t-shirts, such as the No DQ Galaxy shirt. For the month of November, all of the Super Chat donators got put on a t-shirt for the No DQ Galaxy.
That's really nice of them.
And you can also get the brand new Ladies of No DQ shirt. If you like the Ladies of No DQ, they all now have their own shirt. And you can also get the new Fire Virtue shirt.
With all these great shirts, how can I decide which one I want?
Well, just go to Pro Wrestling Tees and search for NoDQ.com. And if you get enough shirts, you can actually save money.
Oh, I love saving money.
Well, this weekend, Pro Wrestling Tees is having a Black Friday sale of 20% off. And if you purchase more than $100 worth of shirts, that's like, say, 5 shirts, then you get 5 Loot Crate type box memorabilia items kind of things. Whatever that means.
I like surprises as well with my great t-shirt deals.
But if you get $150 or more, you get free shipping.
Oh, that's even sweeter of a deal. I can't wait to get onto the website and order me some shirts.
So that means if you just order 7 or 8 NoDQ.com shirts, you can actually save money on shipping while saving 20% because it's Black Friday.
Oh, I can't wait for this sale to begin.
So make sure you go to NoDQ.com/shirts to get all of your NoDQ.com t-shirts. Next up, we get a video recap of Gargano versus Black.
Beautifully done.
I forgot to mention earlier we had a video recap of Kairi Sane versus Baszler.
But that kind of comes with it because we had the recap and then right afterwards that went right into the interview.
Well, these were great video packages. They did a video recap of all 4 matches from NXT. TakeOver War Games, including the War Games match, including both title matches, including the grudge match with Aleister Black and Johnny Gargano. But for me, I'm like, why are we watching these? We already watched the pay-per-view.
Yeah.
But these were like everything in the matches, all the spots, all the good stuff condensed into a small payload with great music behind it. And great Mauro Ranallo quotes.
It was like opening up a box of cereal that's supposed to have only one prize, but then it's like just filled with marshmallows and prizes. That's it.
Yeah, marshmallows and prizes.
That's all we got was marshmallow and prizes.
So they were great, but that's all I want to say about them, so we can just mention them and move on.
Yeah.
In this case, we're moving on to an attempted interview with Aleister Black.
Mm-hmm.
This new girl, I don't know what her name is. She is definitely not Kathy Kelly, and she's blonde. She's trying to get an interview with Aleister Black, but he just keeps walking. Comes face to face with Candice LeRae, and they have a stare down, but don't say anything. And then they walk off, and she's no longer trying to get an interview with anybody. And it was okay.
I think it was pretty much an unspoken thing. She's pretty much asking with her eyes, like, "Are you done with my husband now?" And him pretty much saying, yeah.
I have to wonder when they think that we expect this to have happened in the timeline, because the match that she has on this show technically happened earlier in the night.
Yes.
But we're looking at this video package as if it happened after Aleister Black beat Johnny Gargano, which happened towards the end of the night on Saturday.
Yes.
So this is weird. This is some time travel kind of shit. I just recognized this, but like seriously, this vignette for NXT TakeOver was supposed to happen at the end of the night, but if you were there live, technically it would happen for her at the beginning of the night during the dark match.
Yeah.
That is so weird.
Yeah. So, I guess they're just trying to pass it off as like, okay, well, this happened later. It's like, no, it didn't.
It happened at some point. We don't know when. It happened at some point. So, we had a near confrontation backstage between Lars and Keith Lee.
Mm-hmm.
They were on separate ends of a corner or something, just shouting at each other. And this brings on the notification that, boom, yes, next week, Lars versus Keith Lee. And if that's the main event and it has a clean finish, I'm going to be super happy to bring you all the next episode of What's NXT.
It's good. That is not going to be a squash match in any way, shape, or form. That is going to be just two powerhouses just going at it, and it's going to be an awesome, awesome match. So that's something I would like to see at NXT TakeOver, but at the same time, I like the idea of possibly them building into something a little bit bigger here too.
Well, there's 2 months till the next NXT TakeOver, so I don't want to see a 2-month build-up between those two. I'd rather see a match start next week. So I'm cool with it.
Yeah.
NXT manages to give you a match to care about at least once a week, and per this week, it takes one more segment, a video recap of War Games The Match.
Yes.
From Saturday. And let me tell you, that was a long one segment.
Yes, that was about 8 minutes.
But it was all of the highlights from the War Games match in one video.
Mm-hmm.
And then we move on to the main event. Nikki Cross versus Candice LeRae. Kind of a grudge match because Candice LeRae is pissed at Nikki Cross, but Nikki Cross is still crazy. She's just out there having fun. This was a fun match. What did you think, Mr. Slaughter?
Oh, women's match-wise and everything, or just match in general? This was something I was actually waiting for because Candice LeRae, she's already established. She's been everywhere. She was actually trained in part by Chris Hero. Big in California, just big all over the independent scene. Even held the Pro Wrestling Guerrilla, I think, tag titles with Joey Ryan at one point. And yeah, she's a great wrestler, very technically sound. Then you have Nikki Cross, who's just out of her mind, very unorthodox. And I was already stoked for this match, and when it finally came to fruition, it was on TV. I was like, oh, yes, it's good. It's going to be great. And I was not disappointed in any way, shape, or form. Because it started off just as I thought it was going to, with Nikki Cross being crazy. And Candice LeRae, being at her technical best. But then, after a little bit, Candice LeRae got mad.
Yeah, Nikki Cross was having fun. She kept smiling and laughing. I think Candice LeRae had a pretty good move. I can't remember what it was. What I remember was Nikki Cross coming out of it just smiling and laughing, and Candice LeRae just gets pissed.
Here's what happened with that. Candice LeRae kicked out of the Purge. And then after that, we had a spot where Candice LeRae tried to go for that power bomb off the top rope, and Nikki blocked it, only for Candice to run up and German suplex her off the second rope. And then that's when Nikki...
Yeah, for a near fall. Okay.
And that's when Nikki slid back away from her and started laughing at her.
So I did have notes for that, because Candice actually goes for a lion salt.
Yeah.
A beautiful lion salt, halfway across the ring. And Nikki...
That was after a very crisp-looking Unprettier.
Well, Nikki Cross, rolls away, and then she ends up hitting her Purge.
Yeah.
Which is like a inverted swinging fisherman's neck breaker.
Yeah.
It's so hard to name these moves other than the names they give them, but we know that not everybody watches, and so we want to try and give you a visual, a verbal visual of what that move looks like. Yeah, and then the German suplex off the top rope for a near fall, and then that's where Candice gets pissed and
starts doing flailing her arms at her, and just referee had to break them up 2 or 3 times.
Yeah, there was a few times I thought it was going to end with a disqualification, but Candace actually puts her in a death lock, pulls her up by her hair,
Yes.
and almost gets disqualified again, releases just in time to grab her, one of her arms, and then use her foot to plant her face into the mat.
Yep.
And I mean,
Just look at Candace's face, because she's all so usually so bubbly and everything, but this just lacked complete emotion and everything.
well, I call this heel pissed.
Yes.
She was so pissed that now she's a heel.
Yeah.
She's turned into her husband in the female form. She has turned heel for just the reason of vengeance, I guess.
Yeah.
Or whatever. So she goes heel pissed, but then, she's so blinded by anger that Nikki Cross takes advantage. She pulls her into the ropes, like neck first into the ropes, into the middle rope.
Yeah.
And then when she comes off of there, she drapes her over the top rope, like top rope draping DDT, but then follows it with an inverted swinging neck breaker and pinfall.
Yeah.
Nikki Cross wins this match. And I was a little surprised by that. But if Nikki Cross is getting called up and this was her final match, I'm very glad that she got the win. Makes her look good on the way out. That's why I'm hoping that if Keith Lee is Lars Sullivan's last match before he gets called up, I hope Lars Sullivan goes over clean.
Yeah.
He needs to look like a monster on his way out so that he seems like a monster on his way in.
Yep.
What'd you think about the end of the match? Like,
that's my opinion on it too. Is we're going to go with my rating right here, the Journal's 5-star rating.
That's what we do.
This is the main event, so I usually do a ratings from 1 to 5 stars for the main events. And in this case, I'm gonna go ahead and give this one. I'm gonna give this one a 4.5.
4.5.
Yeah, because I was super impressed with it. One, for the fact that there wasn't a lot of story to it, but there's enough that I was like, okay, Candace is pissed. This is going to be a great match.
There's at least a month and a half of story going back. It may not.
Yeah.
It may be very subtle, very soft, but it goes back quite a bit.
I think it's also the fact that it ties also in with the Gargano and Black one, so it almost so the fans at the pay-per-view itself, they got to see this match before Gargano and Black, so it's almost like a prelude to it. So, because it's just another dimension on that storyline, kind of like a cousin to that story, to that main storyline. So, but you saw great moves out of both of them. You saw a couple of great near falls. The crowd was solidly behind. Neither one of them really. I think it was pretty well balanced out on that one too.
Yeah, it was about split with the crowd.
And then you saw, Nikki Cross getting the win at the end, which, like you said, if it's her last match at for NXT, awesome. Can't wait to see on the big brand and see what kind of chaos you're going to cause there. But at the same time, Candice LeRae did not look weak in the match. They didn't do it for Nikki. It was just what I was hoping for in the match between those two. So yes, 4.5.
Yeah, they definitely preserved Candice LeRae because she got so angry about Elevate. She was so emotional about it, and she told that story in the ring. You could see it as you watched it, and she just made the mistake of turning around and getting pulled into. And it's kind of a heel move to pull somebody into the ropes like that. But it's totally legal, I think.
Yeah.
You just can't hold them in the ropes for more than a 5 count or anything like that. But
if a heel does it, it's a heel move. If a face does it, it's a crazy tactic.
But what if Nikki Cross does it? Because I don't think she's either a heel or a face, really. She's somewhere in a very good middle.
Yeah, like I said, crazy tactic.
Crazy tactic.
But like you've established, this one has a story and how much you love stories. So what do you rank it?
Not as high as you.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think. This might be one of those rare weeks. It was great, but I don't know if it was close to 5-star grade or anything. The match itself was decent, but it wasn't very long, really.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it's long for a TV match, but it was. I know it was less than 10 minutes.
Yeah, I think it was about 8 or 9 minutes. I think it was about the same length as the War Games recap.
Pretty much. So, something that I would want.
That's the other thing. They put such a great match in such a short time. So,
I'm gonna go with just a 4.
Yeah.
just a 4. I wouldn't even call it 4 1/4 because it wasn't really on the back of a spectacular episode. The squash matches were okay, but there was only 2 other matches. They were squash matches. They were super short, and the video packages, though great, were super long. And again, for me, we already watched the pay-per-view.
It kind of killed the momentum of the actual show that we watched, was the fact that we kept on having to see stuff we've already saw the night a couple nights prior.
It's like, look, thank God for Candice LeRae versus Nikki Cross. Thank God they put this showcase match at the end of the show to leave you with that.
Mm-hmm.
But 4 stars because it was great, but 4 stars.
I can agree with that too. So,
but no, you're 4.5. You stay at 4.5.
Well,
I appreciate your enthusiasm for it.
Like, well, 4.5 for that match for me. Yeah, I won't say
main event for the main event.
For the main event, yes.
Though technically there wasn't really anything after, so yeah, it was just the match.
Yeah.
I like the show. Thank God for that match though, because if it had been another squash match, this show would have gotten thumbs down at best. Like, just because.
I was about to say, yeah, if that match was pretty much saving grace for the evening, because like
it turns it around, you know.
Yeah.
You can appreciate the quality of the video packages, but just the simple fact that we watched NXT TakeOver, we saw all of this already.
Yeah.
And it was great when we watched it, but this was unnecessary.
And I was about to say, even the recaps were great too. So, but at the same time, it was kind of unneeded. It really was.
So I would say that is probably the shortest What's NXT that we have ever done.
Yep.
But we want to thank everybody for joining us. Please join us again next week. Please join us tomorrow for our our 2 episodes of NXT Party.
Yep.
I'm getting them confused. Doing too much work. No, I enjoy it. I really love it.
Our new belt.
Oh, yes. We are debuting the new belt tonight somewhere in the NXT UK NXT Party set. Yeah. We are going to have I bought the cheap toy championship because why not?
Belt.
I have the UK belt now.
Yep.
So I don't think I would ever buy that thing in the real replica. It's just too much money.
No.
Even when it's on sale, it's just too much for a belt that I don't even have an emotional investment in yet, other than the fact that I really love Pete Dunne.
Yep.
But we will talk more about NXT UK tomorrow on our NXT Party. I want to wish everybody, because technically this is Thursday, and hopefully you're stuffed with food and enjoying us as you are full on turkey and ham and mashed potatoes.
Or watching Macy's Day Parade. Who knows how quick Aaron's ahead this up.
Well, the rest of the family is watching the Macy's Day Parade. You've got your phone and your earbuds, and you're watching us review NXT. And we appreciate all the viewership. We want to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving, happy Turkey Day, whatever you celebrate. If you're just there for the food, we hope you have a good day. If you're just there for the football with family, we hope you have a good day. Our day is going to have NXT UK in it, and so we hope to have a good day as well.
Mm-hmm.
We will see you all tomorrow. You can follow me on Twitter. Go to nodq.com/Stefan. That's STEFAN. Or just go to @Stephan R. Osborne, OSBORNE. On our NXT parties, we like to have the fans. Tomorrow we are going to have James. I'm sorry. All these names to remember for NXT UK. We are going to have James tomorrow, but we would like to have you next week or the week after. If schedule permits, just get a hold of me on Twitter, DM me, or leave a message down below with a way for me to contact you, email or whatever, and we will try and get you on the show. Other than that, this is the General Jerry Slaughter, who now has a Twitter, thanks to my prodding and hopefully the one fan that he's got now. And let's get him some followers, guys. What is it?
@NoDQGeneral.
That's right, folks. @NoDQGeneral. Follow Jerry Slaughter. DM him if you want to be on the show.
Mm-hmm.
We want to have you guys on our NXT party. Since we will be doing 2 episodes per week for the near future, we could actually have more than one person on each week, as schedule permits, as I say. Just DM me for the schedule needs, or your schedule needs, and see if we can work around and maybe wake up early one day and do it in the morning. But it can be done.
Yep.
So again, for the Wizard of No DQ, Stefan Osborne, for the General Jerry Slaughter, we thank you for joining us for What's NXT, and we will see you NXT time.